Hello, traveler.
And welcome back to our very first episode of the internet's favorite Warhammer painting show. In today's episode, we're going to be painting some sizzling hot plasma, pink style, so you know it's going to be poppin'. As you know, my name is your host, Mr. Taxidermy, and welcome to Backalley Taxidermy. What better models to practice some plasma effects on than these Hellblasters that Jeffrey Bezos gave me in exchange for currency? That's right, longtime friends of mine will recall these fellas from a previous episode. And if you want to be my longtime friend too, all you gotta do is press the subscribe button and ring my bell. It's easy as that, brother. Now let's get that air brussy fired up and get some base layers on them. And we're doing the classic Zenithal highlights in the priming stage, if anything to give us a good idea of what kind of model we are going to be dealing with. Spoiler alert, it is a Space Marine. So we just black them out and cover everything. And then we take the white ink and shoot from the top of the model to give some easy highlights. Full disclosure, something weird happened in the making of this internet experience. If you don't want to hear me ramble, just skip to this part, as this video is destined to be a completely normal painting video, and this will hold no relevance to you. Anyways, when we went to discover the files, a file was missing. It was the first step of putting down a basilicum gray base coat on the armor. A sad turn of events for us, as we cannot retrieve the all-important file. So as an extra, we have decided to recreate this essential moment using computer technology. In addition to this missing file, we found a recording. Now, I think it's nonsense, but I'm sure someone will enjoy this delightful sound. So with all that shit out of the way, let's slap some Army Painter murder scene all on these cloth parts. I'm a big fan of this paint. The reddish purple is going to be a welcome addition to my Dank Angels army. Ooh, next we're gonna cover them plasma guns with some of them Army Painter broadsword silver. Just slap this on the cables, guns, and whatever you want to make look shiny for later. Skeleton Horde returns, coming for all those candles on the Marines power packs. Don't ask me how this is supposed to work. Realistically, candles don't go on backpacks, but candles on this army is drippy as hell, so we're here for it. While we're at it, we're gonna hit them purity parchments. Next, we're going to be using some Black Templar contrast paint. We're going to go all over the gun case and make it a little bit more intimidating. It'll also contrast better with the plasma. Then we're going to put this on the reinforced shoulder pads and all the nooks and crannies of the armor. Put some Cygor brown on them holsters to make way for some leather later on. And we're going to slap Yo Mama with the Bad Moon Yellow on the cable, and we're eventually going to make some hazard stripes on here.
Let's go gambling!
And try some Hoplite Gold. Gonna put this on all the details we want gold, especially the head crest. We're gonna go heavy on the gold for some reason, and probably think this is a cool idea that won't backfire in any way. I accidentally fucking painted an Iron Warrior. This is not the end goal.
Aw, dang it!
And anyway, I did fuck up, in fact. Goodbye. Coming back from that loss, we're going to cover up the gray we put down previously with some more gray. This time with the Necromancer's Cloak. Maybe this will make the armor more cohesive. I think that's what we'll go with. Let's highlight those cables with some demonic yeller and hit those candles while we're at it. Staying with the Simpsons, we're gonna use some Vallejo fluorescent yellow to highlight the lenses of the guns, and maybe even the Duder's eye lenses while we're at it. The fluorescent paint adds a little pop that'll make them kind of glow in the dark or something. Next, we're going to take this old-ass pot of Nuln Oil and get it all in the recesses of the metal cable thingy that's attached to the power pack. I guess these guns will be firing overcharge with the amount of power that's being shot through these tubes. Alright, so we have a Backalley Taxidermy favorite here, Army Painter Death Metal, and we're just going to pick out the details like the gun barrel and any other deets that need metallic variety. Scratch that metallic with some Vallejo gunmetal and make the gun a little bit more shiny. I'm going to push those highlights even brighter with a layer of pure Vallejo silver. These guns might have been locked away in the old armory for a few thousand years, but that don't mean we don't have to polish them daily. Speaking of polishing, let's take some stone cold gray and polish up their armor. My thought process for this color scheme is based on lore nuggets that we found. Apparently there's this thing called the Dreadwing, which is like super secret war crime division of Dank Angels, but there ain't much art of it from what I could find, so we're just gonna go with this Bad Batch inspired black, gray, red theme to represent this wing of the Hexagrammaton. Now if none of that made sense to you, that's alright. You ain't required to know the lore to paint some dope ass minis. Oh, also, I'm using black paint on these dudes, just adding some contrast, and just painting the knee pads, why not? Do you like dragons? Because I like dragging these paints across the model, with some dragon red. We're going to do a little edging, and edge these shoulder pads, again bringing home the Bad Batch theme. We're going to add some spice to this bland-ass chicken and hit him with the Grimoire Perp on the Purity Seals. Just a little wax sealy bit. And we're going to highlight some appropriately named leather brown onto the holsters, and anywhere else that needs the leather details. And for the candles and any parchment bits, we're going to be using Old Reliable. And add some scratchy highlights. Alright, I've been keeping you edging on your seat for a little too long here, so let's start charging up that plasma gun. Let's take some acrylic white ink and just slop it all over the plasma coils. This is an easy base for the transparent paints to come. Are you ready for the big reveal? I bet you aren't. It's quite tedious and difficult for newcomers. Actually, only the most advanced Warhammer people can do this pro gamer move. In fact, it wasn't until I collected the 40,000 Warhammers and met Jimmy Space himself that I discovered this secret technique. First, you gotta go to a hobby store. Then, you gotta go up to the clerk and ask him for a bottle of Army Painter Power Node Glow. Then, you gotta go home and put your paintbrush in the pink paint, and then put the paint on the model. Only then can you find the key to making the best plasma in the world. It's a pretty advanced technique, so look out, Vincey boy, I'll be in your home next. And if you're feeling like a keener, you can max out your edge by taking some white paint and edging those coils. Edge them till it's pink and white. Whoo, yeah, I'm feeling something from that last step, so let's try our hand at some painted on decals. Let's use Wyvern's Fury and just paint on between the lines like coloring book. Mom.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Baba booey.
No ass on, buddy.
Baba booey.
Alright, fuck this shit. We're gonna go back and do this over. Just do it over with some black and go black to the drawing board. We got decals to spare anyways. Neagle time. Okay, I ain't the best with decals, I'll tell you what, but we're gonna do it anyways. Let's cut some out from the sheet, and cut your finger open while you're at it. Then soak them up in some of that water. Poke them like a Pillsbury until they sort of look like they'll come off the page. Then, on a surface you previously gloss varnished, fiddle around the decal until it comes off the sheet. Prod it and flatten it with a brush to get the moisture off. You can also use a forbidden technique. Just use your thumb to pop it on wherever, like this dude's knee. When you're comfy with how these decals are, seal them with some matte varnish so you don't lose them for later. Then we can get started on the base. Almost done. Take some brown speed contrast and just slop it on the basin bits. We're gonna add some green shit to the other bits. For all those lore heads out there, we're gonna be doing a Caliban Forest basin scheme for this Dank Angels army. Then we're gonna take a shit brush and the dark earth texture paint and liberally slop all over the place. Next, we're going to magically grow fucking grass on the base, and then we'll be ready for rimming. So give these boys a dank old rim around their rim, and pat yourself on the back. And there you have it, my folks. Another video painted, and some more information learned. Let's take it to the fridge and see these hot-ass plasma guns up close. These guns are too hot. Like, they're literally on fire. And I didn't pay for any of my anti-fire spray plus, only from Foxbox. Fuck, my roast is ruined. Ah well, it's been a good run while it lasted, and it looks like I'm gonna die in a fire. Who would have thunk it? So, until next time, my name is Mr. Taxidermy, and this is Backalley Taxidermy. And before I die, I have one more thing to say.